And so while I was there, we said we were going to be each other's accountability partners and wake up at 5 a.m. And that started today. And so today is our first day waking up at 5. Shayna, how are you feeling, Queen?
I am up, my love.
I know, right? We up.
We up.
We up. Herpes Canaver is up. The movement is up.
Period. I've been telling a lot of people we're going to be answering their calls Monday morning. So I'm expecting a few people to come in or at least listening on Facebook Live.
Yeah, so we're live over on Facebook. I saw you had that rolling this morning.
Yes, we are already live on Facebook. I wanted to make sure that was up and ready so that at 7 o'clock we can get going.
Love it. So I'll say hey to everyone on Facebook. It's your girl Amber, aka WatchAmber, the co-founder of the Herpes Canaver movement. I just wanted to let everybody know, since you can't see us over here on Clubhouse, can't see our faces. Shout out to our Android cousins.
Yes.
And everybody in the private Facebook group. Shayna.
For everyone listening in the private Facebook group, if you do have questions during this live, we won't be able to get to your questions until afterwards because we are on Clubhouse. We cannot see anything that's going on Facebook. Hopefully some of our cousins over here on Clubhouse will be able to look and maybe ask some of the questions for you all. But if not, we will get to your questions afterwards. I just want to apologize in advance.
Thank you for that. Okay, it's Monday. You know how Mondays you normally be dragging, but today I feel like we up, and everybody in the room be on time, be up. It's Q&A Mondays. So, you just want to go in? I mean, I'm trying to figure out if I have any tea this morning. The tea is like...
You just put up a relationship status on Facebook, and you talking about you ain't got no tea. Let's go there. What you thought I wasn't going to say nothing? You gonna put it on Facebook when they tell your partner first? You just gonna hit me with a little razzle dazzle this morning? Yup.
Oh my God, y'all! Shayna's coming for my dad. Emmanuel, Shondia. Hey Queen, hey King. I know, right? And I didn't even tell my best friend. That's why she's not responding to me now. I sent her a message. I said, "Hey, boo, we need to catch up today." She hasn't responded. But I'm like, you know what? Sometimes I just, I've attached. I don't know if this is a toxic habit or a trait. Maybe we can talk about that. Like, I'm just like, I literally, I don't think about others before doing something that I want to do. And so I'm just like, that was it wasn't in my spirit. It was a conversation. Hey, excuse me. I'm back home dog sitting, and these Negroes is acting a fool. Excuse me, sir.
See?
Yeah, I know. So we will talk about that. We're going to leave y'all on the cliff on that. I did change my Facebook status on Facebook. So that did happen. I'm like preparing myself to share that with the room. But yeah, that happened. So that's my piping hot tea. Amber is no longer single. Yeah, I can't make this shit up. That's what I have to say.
Ever got a man. I'm so childish.
There is love after herpes. I will say that. So there is relationships after herpes. The whole world knows about my herpes, obviously. And so, like Shayna and I always say, the herpes ain't stopping nothing over here as far as love and dating and the possibility of that when that's something that you're looking for or that, might be looking for you. It's just a matter of, prioritizing yourself and doing the work and getting to the place to where you expect and deserve the best, and that's what will come to you. So that's what I'll say about that.
Look at me. I'm a vet. Welcome, Kwana. Welcome, Rita. Welcome, Deja, Emmanuel, LaShondia, Tiana, Liv, Kanisha. I'm so happy that y'all here still showing up with us on Clubhouse. Clubhouse days may be slim. It seems like we're more jumping over in our private Facebook group, and we need to spend more time over there. So if you are here in Clubhouse and you have yet to join our private Facebook group, I highly suggest that you do that probably right now and come back. Just because you never know when we might drop off the face of the earth on this Clubhouse and put 100% of our time and energy in our group and Patreon.
Yes. Facts. We got some Patreons in the room right now too.
Yes, we do. The Patreons is in here, gang. They strong. Yeah, Leslie just got in. Hey, Queen. I hope your baby's doing good. The last time I speak to Leslie, her baby was doing good, which was beautiful. Well, it was better, not good, but better. So I'm hoping baby's even more better now, Leslie. We love you.
We love you.
Emmanuel, we missed you on Saturday. We had a new cousin come in by the name of Eli, and he was brave enough to share his stories, but he did express the struggles of being a man with herpes, and I was so hoping that we would see you there on Saturday, but maybe you can catch him over at the group.
Yes.
In the group, not at the group. Come on.
Saturday was good too. We have like new people coming up and sharing their experiences every single, basically, I feel like time we're on here now, someone new pops up and comes to the stage for the first time. Men, women. It's really, really amazing to see. I love it.
Yes. All right, Amber, let's kick this. Let's start this ish.
Hey, y'all. What's up? It's Amber. Hey, cousins, aka WatchAmber, the co-founder of the Herpes Can Never movement. My confidence is contagious. I help women heal on purpose. I've been called to help women feel unashamed, empowered, and worthy, and I'm using my real life experiences to do so. I'm an entrepreneur. I'm a certified life coach, and I'm so grateful to have everybody in the room. Welcome to Q&A Mondays on Clubhouse. Shayna?
My name is Shayna Singleton, aka the Herpes Goddess, Clapback Queen, Goddess Queen Mother. I am the founder of the Herpes Can Never movement, growing the largest herpes community of over 230,000 because I inspire people to love themselves more. The mission is to make everyone uncomfortable until our community feels comfortable being open about their status and proud of their sexuality. I'm so happy to have you all here with us so early in the morning. It feels good that y'all are up and y'all ready and y'all motivated and you're here. So I'm proud of you. All right, let me see the questions because I screenshotted a few of them, but there's one that I wanted to get to. So now we're at the point in our group where we have to control what is going to be posted on the timeline and what is not going to be allowed on the timeline. We want to keep our timeline focused on changing the narrative around our herpes status. So any type of comment that may fuel the stigma, even if you don't see it as that, we might decline. But I still want to take time to address some of your questions. So last night, someone came in and said, I have so many questions. Like, how do I know when I'm shedding or not? What medications do I take? Will this prevent me from having kids? It's so many things that I stress and worry about. And at times I honestly don't want to live because I feel like my life is ruined. And I feel even worse because I lost my mother to HIV, but she was able to live out her life and have kids. I'm just scared. I don't know what to do at this point. I'm only 19. And at times I feel like I have no one to turn to. Amber, before we get to the technical questions like shedding your medication and pregnancy, like she said in the beginning, this post as a whole, what are your thoughts?
I shared that post and with a friend who's actually in the group now, and the thoughts that came to my mind initially were, wow, this is the definition of why Shayna says your story can save a life. Because if Shayna and I didn't tell our stories, the Herpes Can Never community might, it wouldn't exist in the way that it does. And for this specific person, maybe our community is what makes her feel like she's not alone. Maybe our community and the love and the support that she'll receive in the comments and, privately will be what helps her get past this dark time. And so initially I was just like, I felt for her. My heart felt for her. I just could feel the pain in her words. And I was just so like, wow. And then I was like, dear God, like maybe, this is why we do what we do, because there are people out here who are really in this position, and this virus and the stigma associated with the virus has people out here feeling the way that she described. So I felt a lot of things for her, but my heart definitely felt for her. So yes. What about you?
Of course, that's our whole point of doing what we do, because we don't want other men and women to feel a way about their status that we don't feel. And we want you guys to love yourselves more and to jump on this journey and to break the stigma. I want to dissect the comment, don't want to live because I feel like my life is ruined. I feel like my life is ruined. What about herpes? A bump that may or may not show up ruins your life. You have to uncover the answer to that question. That might be the hardest question you ever asked yourself, because you're going to have to say some ugly things that you think about your own self. But you have to get to the root of that question. What about herpes is ruining my life? If you can identify that, you can change your narrative. You can say something else to yourself. You can look for different things, but you have to identify what about herpes is ruining your life. Is it your sex? Is it because you have to talk about sex before having sex? It's because the conversation before sex is a little bit uncomfortable. I know we all at first fear rejection. We feel the rejection so hard, but that's another question. Like, what about rejection is making me feel like it's ruining my entire life? Because herpes doesn't have that power. It doesn't have that power at all to ruin anyone's life. It's our minds, it's our mindset and how we think of it. So if you are listening, my love, or if you're catching the replay and you hear us mention your post, ask yourself, what about my herpes status is ruining my life? Amber, you have any input before we get to the technical questions?
I love that. Like, okay. That's that self-reflection. That's that looking in the mirror. That's that how much of the stigma am I placing on myself? How much are my thoughts contributing to my reality? Which the answer is like all of it. Like, your thoughts are your reality. What you think is what will be. So if you're thinking that herpes is ruining your life or will ruin your life, again, that's that next question. Why do you think that? What about the virus makes you believe that that is true for you? So I would just encourage you to ask that next level question. So herpes is just the catalyst that helps you do the inner work on coming to the surface of these feelings that were already somewhere inside of you anyway. So that's what I have to say about that before we get to those questions. Okay. But yeah.
Well, thank you, Queen. I think we need to put together some frequently asked questions for some of our loves. She has her first question. How do I know when I'm shedding or not? For those of you who are just finding out about your herpes status, I'm going to briefly go over shedding. Think about your skin. Our skin has to shed, right? All that dust around your house, that's dead skin particles. Your virus has to shed too. No matter if your virus is dormant in your body or not, the virus still has to shed. And it's during that shedding, you're just as contagious as you are during an outbreak. I learned my prodrome symptoms, which is an indicator that I'm shedding for myself, through body journaling. You really have to take some time to get to know you, Queen. Not just your outbreak symptoms, just your body in general, the differences, and being able to pinpoint what symptoms go with what, or what happens whenever something else happens. So if you're interested in body journaling and learning your prodrome symptoms and triggers, you can go to my YouTube channel, Shayna Singleton, and I have a video about prodrome symptoms and triggers. The next question is, what medications do I take? Your doctor, if you are experiencing outbreaks, will prescribe one of 3 of the antivirals. I myself, I don't take any antivirals. I do holistic healing. That's a whole journey within itself. We can't expect to take a few herbs and everything be better the next day. You kind of got to change your diet, what you're eating, what you're drinking, in order for herbs to really work and take on your body. I explained that as well during the body journaling and trigger video. And the last question was, will this prevent me from having kids? Not at all, Queen. I have a son and he is herpes negative. So you can still have children. Amber, do you have any questions?
No, I don't have any particular questions on the questions that she asked. I agree. We see these questions a lot. Can I have kids? Or what does this mean for this part of my life or that part of my life? So I like the idea of creating a frequently asked question tab or video or segment or something. Maybe you and I can put together a video, because we're seeing a lot of these same types of questions because of the lack of information or the misinformation, or the fact that very little information is provided to someone, to most of us when we find out we've been diagnosed. So I hope that Shayna, what she said has, shined some light as far as the answers are concerned. She's spot on with them. They're pretty much cut and dry in a way. It's the stigma, you all. The virus itself, and most of most people with the virus are asymptomatic, so they're not necessarily having external outbreaks, physical manifestations of the virus. Of course, we know that you're still able to shed the virus, even if you are asymptomatic, which means you are still able to pass the virus. So just becoming educated, surrounding yourself, getting into a community will be all the things that will help you feel less alone and help you understand that so many people to the right and to the left of you are, have herpes, which, again, let's normalize herpes and let's break the stigma. That's what I'm here for. Hey, Zaire. Hey, Kay. Hey, Kimbers. Hey, Elam, ? Welcome to the room, you all. It's Q&A Monday. That was Shayna read a post from our private Facebook group. So if you are in here and you're not on our private Facebook group, you can get to that by going to the links, going to our Instagram pages, which is on both of our Clubhouse pages. We're actually streaming live right now on our private Facebook group for all of our Android cousins, or for people in the Facebook group to go back and listen to this later on if they can't catch us live and in real time. So that's another perk of being in our group, is that you can go back and hear the conversation if you're not able to catch all of it. So thank you guys for being here. All right, it's Q&A Mondays, y'all. If you have any questions about the virus, about your diagnosis, about Shayna's story, about my story, about the Herpes Can Never movement, if you have a question, that's what today is for. So feel free to raise your hand and we'll invite you to the stage and you can share. Shayna, do you have another question? Because our Instagram DMs is blowing up.
Yes, I do have more questions, but we have somebody who wants to come onto the stage. Our girl, Kay. Yes. Let's bring her.
Hey, Queen.
Hello, Queen. How are you?
Good morning. I am blessed and happy.
Rich and divine.
Jayla, I know you dabble in a bit of medicinal herbs. So I was wondering, have you ever tried psychedelics for healing, and what's your thoughts on it? Or Amber?
Okay. Psychedelics. I'm a very spiritual person, so I've never went towards psychedelics for healing my herpes, but I do it to for my creative side, like shrooms. If I were to partake, it would be a day with myself in nature, with my music, with my crystals, with my oils and my incense, and I'm going to deep meditative state to get some downloads. After a trip, I usually come out of it with a journal filled with ideas and things that I want to do, and new things for the movement, new content ideas. So when it comes to psychedelics, that's the reason why I would partake. But as far as herpes, I never put the two together. Amber?
That's great, Kay. Same thing. The only psychedelic I've ever taken is shrooms. And that was more so on literally the only time I've taken it, I've been in the middle of the woods on some like other mindset, let me just like see where this takes me kind of experience, but I've never used them specifically for herpes as far as like any type of healing or anything like that. But that's a great question, Kay. Thank you. Thank you. We might have to look more into that, Shayna. Like, y'all be putting us on to all types of stuff.
Definitely. I'm actually going to hit up Rich today and just to see what he says. That's our, Rich is like our herpes history research
dictionary
encyclopedia, you guys. If you're not following Rich, I highly suggest you do. Everything he does, he comes with the facts, and he's going to hit you with the resources that he used to find the facts. His website's also packed with information. So he was a large process of he's a large part of why I know what I know. So go check out Rich. Welcome to the stage, Elam.
Hey, thank you for this group. So you know what? It's really interesting what Kay was saying about trying the psychedelics to sort of manage the herpes, because I recently started a self-acceptance journey. So I've started guided meditations, and I've also considered trying out some, mushrooms to sort of help manage my anxiety surrounding this. But my question is, what happens how do you sort of relieve yourself from the guilt when you do have sex and you think you might possibly be, having an outbreak, or you might possibly be having an outbreak? Because I constantly feel like I'm having an outbreak, and even though it's just my anxiety is telling me this, but how do you sort of like relieve yourself from some of the guilt surrounding maybe making a mistake and having sex when you do have an outbreak or something? I hope that makes sense.
Go ahead, Amber.
Thank you, Elam, for that question. Welcome to the room. And so are you talking about sex with someone you've already disclosed that you have herpes with?
Yes, so sex is somebody who you're in a relationship with and you disclosed and they've accepted you, but yeah.
All right, thank you for that clarification. So it's parallel in a way that we had a question over in our Instagram DMs where a guy was actually asking, how can he's dating someone who has herpes. She disclosed, he accepted it, but she still won't let him love. She still won't let him love her because of the guilt that she feels surrounding being diagnosed with herpes. And so your question kind of made me think of that in a way. It's like everybody else outside of you can accept you, but if you don't accept you, it's for nothing. And so I'm really happy to hear that you're going on this self-discovery journey, because you're going to have to get down to the root of why you think that herpes, there's anything to feel guilty about having herpes. And the fact of the matter is, if you're disclosing and someone is accepting your disclosure, which I hate even the word accept in a way, but if someone is, moving forward with you after your disclosure, and that is then, a possibility. I don't even like to say a risk. It's a possibility that they will, to assume that could be a possibility that they could contract the virus in having dealings with you. So, why do you feel that you should have any guilt surrounding your herpes? Why do you feel like if you were passing it to someone, even after you disclosed, that it would be, your fault or to blame yourself? So just really doing the work in kind of asking yourself these questions, because there's more, it's deeper there. It's never the herpes. It's always what's underneath, and the true things that we feel that come to the surface when we get diagnosed with something like herpes. So if you're feeling guilty, you might need to step back from the relationship altogether and really focus on you until a point to where you don't have any guilt associated with your diagnosis. So that's partly what I have to say about that. Shayna?
Thank you for that, Amber. You have to be comfortable and sure of you so that you can be that comfortable and vulnerable with your partner. The disclosure, the herpes conversation doesn't start and end the day you tell the person. It's a forever thing with you. Your herpes is a forever thing. You have to be able to say, hey, babe, we've been staying up and we haven't had much sleep. And usually when I don't get enough sleep, it triggers an outbreak. I have my outbreaks on my vagina. So, okay, we can't have sex this way. Or when we have sex, I have to cover this area because I want to protect you. But, babe, we can have sex like this. We can have sex like that. We can have sex all these other different ways. And if you want to know other different ways, I suggest you become a Patreon because we talk about sex every Friday.
Hello.
But let me continue. It's more so of, hey, babe, a prodrome symptom just popped up. We can't have sex like this. Or, hey, babe, I'm having an outbreak, so we can't do this, but I can do this, or you can do that. You know, it's just the conversation doesn't stop. You want this person, I'm guessing you see a future in this person. So your partner should be able to come to you and be like, hey, babe, you've been doing this and this and that. This is going to lower your immune system. Are you all right? Or, babe, you've been stressed out. You're going to trigger an outbreak. Don't do that. Or maybe we should slow off on sex. Your partner can even do that with you. So again, you have to be comfortable and you have to be sure of yourself, and you have to make sure that you accept your status before moving into a relationship. We can all disclose. We can disclose healed or we can disclose unhealed. When you decide to go into a relationship, not sure of yourself, go into a relationship, not accepting your status, go into your relationship thinking less of yourself, guess what? You're going to attract people who like that, manipulators and narcissists, people who benefit off of that. Those type of people are not attracted to strength. Those type of people are not attracted to people who love themselves and sure of themselves. You will repulse them. So when you show up to a disclosure, accepting your status and sure, you'll change your narrative. And now you're attracting people who like that, people who love your confidence, people who love the fact that you accepted your herpes, people who love the fact that you live in your truth. So yes, we can disclose, but me and Amber will always tell you, you're not ready for disclosure if you haven't accepted your status. Did this help you, Elon?
Yes, it was very beneficial, actually. Yeah, no, you're right. You're right. It's so important for me to really try and accept myself, because he always tells me that, like, I shouldn't worry, you know, it's okay. Even the last time, you know, I said to him, like, you know, let's use protection because I'm not sure.
Oh, you went out, Elon.
No, we may have lost her from all the way across the pond.
Oh. Well, we thank you. We thank you for coming up to the stage and your question. That was a dope question.
It was.
And I'm
we
glad.
have all the representation from our queens all over the world in here.
Yes, we're international. Let's go.
Yeah, global. Shout out to my sister. Hey, Autumn.
Twin.
Twin sisters in the room. That really was a great question, because it's like I felt like she was saying, you know, talking about he was accepting even, you know, when she was self-conscious. But the thing is like, I don't have any guilt associated with my herpes or my herpes diagnosis. Like, zero guilt. Like, guilt isn't even a feeling that I could feel
we
anymore.
Out here.
Yeah. So that level of healing is like possible, and that's my reality. And so that is what I would hope for every single person in the room, because it's I don't know. How do you feel like being in a position where you have to, you know, you are being reassured by somebody outside of yourself that you're okay? That's just, you know, only it's temporary, because at the end of the day, you're putting an expectation of someone to make you okay. You're putting that on someone else. And the only person who can make sure you're good fully is you.
And think about how uncomfortable that is in a relationship. What, you got to start a fight? You got to come up with all these other reasons on why to not have sex with the person that you're with because you're too afraid to tell them that you're having an outbreak. Or you have to go to those moments when you know you're having an outbreak or your outbreak's about to come, but that's the person that you're with. So you have sex with them anyway without even communicating that to them. You know, it's just it's not a feeling that you want to take into a relationship. That's toxic. That's not healthy. You see, when we're not healthy, coming into emotionally healthy and mentally healthy before coming into a relationship, it's those unhealthy patterns that happen. And now your partner is upset with you because they haven't been having sex, and it always seems like it's on your time and it can't never be on their time. And it just all these other issues that fester and grow from that seed that you plant in the beginning, that seed of unacceptance, that seed of negativity.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's so good. That's so good, Shayna.
Ooh, let's introduce ourselves, Amber. For anyone new in the Facebook Live group, welcome.
Hey y'all, hey cousins over on Facebook, gang. We about to hit 900.
We already hit 900.
We already hit 900.
We are hit. We already
hit 800
hit.
like 2 days ago.
No, we already hit 900. Let's go. But if you are commenting in the Facebook group, we cannot get to your questions right now. We will get to them afterwards. But if you really feel like you want to come up on stage and ask a question, come meet us here over at Clubhouse. I'm Shayna Singleton. This is WatchAmber, and our Clubhouse name is Herpes Could Never. Amber, tell the world who you are, please.
Hey y'all, it's your girl Amber, aka WatchAmber, co-founder of the Herpes Could Never movement. I also want to throw in there, I was diagnosed with HSV-2 in 2018, genital herpes. So that's my status for all the new folks in the room. I help women heal on purpose. I've been called to help women feel unashamed, empowered, and worthy. And I'm using my real life experiences to do so. I'm an entrepreneur. I'm a certified life coach. Herpes Could Never. Hey, Shayna.
My name is Shayna Singleton, aka the Herpes Goddess, Clapback Queen, Goddess Queen Mother. I am the founder of the Herpes Can Never movement, growing the largest herpes community of over 230,000 because I inspire people to love themselves more. I was diagnosed with HSV-2 genital herpes in 2015. The mission is to make everyone uncomfortable until the herpes community feels comfortable being open about their status and proud of their sexuality. We are so happy to have you here with us this morning. It is Mondays, and Mondays are for Q&A. Welcome. Clubhouse is popping this morning.
I know, it's lit in here.
Listen, y'all is up and y'all early. I love it. I love the energy.
Shout out to the new faces in the room.
I love the energy. If for anyone new in the room, go ahead over to our Facebook group. It's free, it's private, it's a community of everybody who wants to break the stigma for themselves. We are no longer just teaching ourselves how to deal with the stigma and coast through the stigma and be afraid of disclosure and tiptoe and dance around the fact that we have herpes and not talk about it with people. We're over that shit. We don't create that narrative for ourselves anymore. We're doing something different now. And that's what we're doing over here at Herpes Could Never. And that's why we loud with it. We doing the relatable content. We talking about it. We're bringing the topic up. And we're exposing this stigma for what it is, fake, an illusion. So welcome.
Ooh. Yes, we unapologetic about ours over here.
Period. Okay, so let's get into the questions. If anyone in the audience right now has a question, go ahead and raise your hand. You are priority because you're here with us in Clubhouse. But if not, me and Amber will continue with some of the questions that we receive on our other social media platforms.
Yeah, this question is kind of similar to what was already asked, so I'm not going to ask this one.
Okay, I have one right here.
Let go.
Questions about being sexual with my partner and how to try to protect him. That's kind of like what we just went through now, right? That the whole conversation that we had with what's her name? She's left. She left.
Yeah, she left. And
Elam.
Elam.
The conversation we just had with Elam, that communication is the main key to protecting your partner. And knowledge of self. Communication and knowledge of self. Yes, you can take antivirals that might, better protect you. Yes, you can use condoms and dental dams that might protect you as well. But I always say communication. If I can tell, hey, babe, this is a trigger. Hey, babe, my prodrome symptoms are here. Hey, babe, look at this. Hey, babe, can we try having sex like this? Because I don't want to have sex like this. You might be too close to my outbreak site. Communication will protect your partner. So get comfortable with your herpes. Accept your herpes. Embrace your herpes. I name my outbreak site Bertha. Okay? Because I am not my herpes. My herpes is something separate from me, and that's Bertha. And she just here with me now. Just like Brad, and that's my period.
Y'all.
Amber. So my bad. I beat that ass.
Big ups on the personal awareness, like self-awareness, because if you're able to be so comfortable about your herpes that you.
Amber, I think we lost you. If you're able to be so comfortable about your herpes that you, and then you went away.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Thank you, Queen. If you're able to be so comfortable about your herpes to where, get to the point to where you can talk about it so conversationally with the person that you're sleeping with, but, say you can't talk about it and they're like, okay, on board. But then now you have this guilt that's eating you alive about it, that's only part of the work. So before you try to seek externally, or before you even get validated externally, somebody does want to be with you, somebody does want to have sex with you, but even after that, you're wrapped up in the guilt of maybe giving it to them, or the guilt of feeling uncomfortable about having conversations about your outbreaks or your prodrome symptoms. Like Shayna says, it's not a one-time conversation. It's something that's supposed to be maintained. But if you still subconsciously feel all this guilt, or deep down inside, you still judging yourself for it, it's going to eventually come out in one way or another, in your behaviors, in your actions, in your insecurities. It's going to rear its head. So spend this time investing in you and truly learning yourself to the point to where you have the confidence and the assurance of self that no one can give or take away from you, that you actually authentically have it from you. So I wanted to share that. Tamara, Pamela, Sue, Quana, Leslie, hey y'all, hey Z, Kimbers, Kanisha. Shout out to our Patreons in the room. Patreon gang. Our next Patreon call is tomorrow. We do a call for our Patreons. It's a Zoom call, so not just a call, but we seeing each other face to face on Tuesday nights and Friday nights. In order to sign up to be a Patreon, you got to check out the link in Shayna or myself, our bio, and the Herpes Can Never Instagram. Link to our Patreon is on all three of those platforms. You can support us. We have a few different levels of support, and you will get access to our exclusive calls that we do, where we talk about any and everything on there. And it's just a great community that we're building on a more private, one-on-one kind of personal basis. So thank you for that question, Shayna.
You have any questions on your side, Amber?
Yeah, I have questions. I have to grab my other phone. This one really, I wanted to get your opinion on. Let's see here. Okay, so she basically just told a story. Hi, I've just found your page. So glad. I've had herpes since I was 19, 9 years ago. I've probably spent 7 years being extremely ashamed of it. I've told close friends, but in terms of partners, just 3. The first I was with 5 years, and telling him was so painful. The second and third, I never ended up being romantic or sexual with them. They both made me feel accepted, like it was fine. I'm now getting really close to someone and actually have no idea how to tell him as I really like him, whereas the previous two I didn't really fancy that much. She's from another country. Like I said, y'all, we global. What advice do you have for when and how I tell him? All of our questions are kind of in the same ballpark today.
Yeah, they really are. They really are.
Just goes to show you how much this is a topic and on everyone's mind about literally the weight of disclosure.
I kind of feel like the reason why her relationships haven't been working out is because she hasn't accepted her herpes. And it's kind of like, when do we do something different going into our new relationship? When do we feel something different, think something different? If we are doing the same things we were doing before the relationship that just ended into the new one, it's gonna feel like the same stuff. It gets back to that repeat pain. Pain can be a professor if you choose to learn the lesson it's trying to send, but if you ignore it, it's gonna keep popping back up and being just as painful, if not more, until you learn that lesson. It's the only way that pain is going to stop. It's the same thing with herpes. If you don't accept it, those little, let me see, that wave of energy that you put into your relationship, that negativity you put into your relationship from the jump is going to show face. And it's going to keep showing face in every relationship you go into with that mindset of, oh my gosh, what if they don't want me? Oh my gosh, this is herpes. This is so uncomfortable. Like, damn, you can't even talk to the person that you want to be with. Can you imagine a relationship? What's the communication going to be like? Even outside of herpes, you can't talk to them. So arguments, when shit is heavier than even herpes, because there's a lot of shit in this world that's heavier than herpes. You can't talk about herpes. You can't even talk about the big shit. And that's what you're bringing into your relationship. It's time to do some self-healing before you even go into the relationship. You're not ready. And that's okay. It is okay to not be ready, y'all. It is okay to want to love on you. It is okay to spend years learning how to love you, learning how to heal you, learning who you are. That is okay. Don't let anybody or this world or society make you feel like you need to be married at a certain age or you need to have love. If you need love, try to figure out why your love ain't enough, that you need it from somebody else. Amber?
Go off then.
Go off, period.
I was over here screaming on you. Go off, sis. Go off, sis. Like, we spend a lot of our years, like, so we don't want to be single because, or even if we don't mind being single, but like, what are you doing during your single season? Are you spending it like avoiding your reality? Are you spending it escaping your reality? Are you spending it numbing your pain, or are you spending it productively? And like, there's, like Shayna said, there's nothing wrong with being single for as long as it takes to literally work on you. Because if you go into a disclosure like, oh my God, like I saw in our Facebook group the other day, which, I mean, I think this is before we started approving posts, like somebody was just like so grateful that someone accepted them after they disclosed, and then said something along the lines of, you know, they showed us the screenshot of the message, said something along the lines of, well, I understand if you don't want to be with me or talk to me anymore. Like, after, you know, like right following up the disclosure, like you're going to disclose and then you're going to like couple it with, oh, but by the way, I understand if you don't want to be with me. Like, that is counterproductive to the goal and to the mission. Like, it's like, I don't understand.
I don't understand.
I don't understand
the fuck? Excuse my language. I'm about to beep that out. Damn. I'm trying to curse, so I don't have to edit too much.
I don't understand a little bit. If you don't see me, like, and want to be with me, like, if you don't see that, I don't even see you. And so it's like, when you put that energy out there to be like grateful that someone accepts you, you have to really realize that, okay, why does someone else's validation mean so much to me? Number one. And also number two, you cannot expect someone to love you if you don't love yourself. Like, you have to start. How can you have a requirement of someone else that you don't even have for yourself? So just kind of marinate on that. Just kind of, I know we going hard, but y'all, we love, like, we going hard because we love y'all so much. So that's what we're going hard for. And stage is lit. Tamara, welcome, queen.
Hey, good morning, y'all. Can y'all hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, okay. I wish this Clubhouse had a chat box, because sometimes, you just want to agree and not really come to the stage, but it's okay. But I'm in agreement with what y'all are saying, and again, I'm still working on. I've only disclosed to 2 people. The first time was definitely an insecure method. The second time it was kind of the same, but it was a little bit better. However, what I keep telling myself and I tell other people, even with these guys, like you were saying, you're waiting for somebody to like you and accept you. Hell, I don't even know if I'm gonna like this dude. We don't even know if we're gonna like them. We're just looking for anybody. And so I have to keep telling myself to get to know these men. Like, do you even like them enough to even have that conversation? Because it may not even be worth it at the end of the day. So that's all I have.
Thank you, Queen. And that's another thing. We see, all we see is our herpes. We don't even see, we're so too busy trying to get acceptance from another person that we don't even see yet. We don't even allow ourselves to even figure out if we even like this person or not. We're just seeking someone to accept our herpes. And so that's operating out of pain, operating out of lack, operating out of insecurity mindset that we've literally all been in. Like me, it was me. So thank you, Tamara, for sharing that, sis. Pamela, hey, queen. Welcome to the stage.
Grand Rising.
Pamela.
It's my way.
Pamela.
So this weekend, and excuse my music if y'all hear it. If y'all hear it, because it's my healing music that I sleep with. But this weekend, I actually disclosed to one of my really close friends. I'm a person, like, I'm a non-BS type person, so I don't like the unnecessary. I don't like extra, all that type of stuff. So I have literally a couple of close friends, and that's it. So the reason which and why I disclosed to her, and I'm so glad, so we were on our Patreon call, and she wanted to get lunch. And I pulled into her driveway before my Patreon call finished. And before I noticed, I was going to wait in the car to try to finish my Patreon call. But before I noticed, she was in my vehicle. And at that point, she could hear what was going on my call. So before I let it consume me in a scary way, I turned it down and I told her, look, I want to be open with you with something. I'm a lot better now than I was then when I found out. But I do have herpes. And she told me, like, I'm your friend. Like, if me as your friend cannot accept you with your herpes or not, I'm not your real friend. And I don't really love you. And when I tell y'all that was really, really necessary. And a big thing she also told me was, why didn't you come to me last year when this happened to you? I could have been here more for you. And I'm sorry you had to deal with this by yourself. And not to say I wanted pity, because I don't. I hate pity. But it was really nice to hear that I didn't have to go through it by myself, because like we are trying to break, the stigma is so big, it boxed me into a place that I was so afraid that I didn't even go to one of my closest friends. So definitely, guys, disclosing is really hard. Oh, and the night before, I had disclosed to a whole big old room of people on Clubhouse. But it's hard, but it's really freeing. And I'm really, really learning that. So you're valuable, you're worthy, you are still going to be loved. And you are that king and queen, regardless.
Yes, Pamela.
Period. And that's on Mary Had a J. Blige. Thank you, Pamela.
Mary Had a J. Blige. Yes, queen. Thank you, Pamela. We love you. Thank you for sharing with us. always. Shayna?
Queen. First of all, I'm proud of you, Pamela. Pamela is out here showing out her herpes. She said herpes could never, all right? She's going to do this healing. And she said something, it's hard, but here's the thing. It's not hard, it's uncomfortable. Let's change our wording up. Let's change our spell up. Let's say something different. It's not hard. It is uncomfortable. But growth comes with being uncomfortable, y'all. Y'all have to get uncomfortable in order to grow. So if you want to change your narrative, if you want to change how you feel about herpes, you have to do the things that go against your brain or with your thoughts or what you've created around your herpes. See, coming out public that wasn't an easy decision. And it wasn't an easy decision for Amber as well. You really saying everyone's going to be in my business for a bigger purpose. And the first time wasn't easy. The second time wasn't easy. My first video wasn't easy. But guess what? It's easy now. But I had to get through that uncomfortable phase because it was new. It was unfamiliar. It was something I've never done before. So it seemed hard. I thought it was hard. That's what I told myself. Now I'm yelling it out in public. Now I'm on Clubhouse. Now I got herpes could never with Shay and Amber sitting on top of the word herpes, and it's everywhere for the world to see. It goes to show how much that stigma is an illusion that we create for ourselves. We really box our, like Pamela said, we box ourselves in. I think we've all have. I have. I didn't even think about my herpes the first 2 years. I could have spent those first 2 years learning my body, learning the virus. But instead, I decided to ignore the fact that I had herpes and not talk about it. My healing could have jump-started from that moment on. But instead, I'm like, okay, I just had a baby. I'm just going to focus on this. Amber?
Yes, I love that. All of that. The wording is major because I listened to everything Pamela said. And I was like, okay, Queen. When she said hard, I was like, okay, Queen, here's when we, wrap you up in that self-love and remind you. Disclosing isn't hard. It is uncomfortable. And being uncomfortable sometimes is hard. And it's hard to do. And that's only when you are not comfortable with being uncomfortable. I'm so comfortable now with being uncomfortable that I feel it coming on. Like when I feel a new level, like I'm about to go to this new level with this movement, I'm transitioning in my personal life on some things. And when I feel the uncomfortableness coming, I'm like, ooh, okay, that means I'm growing. I'm stretching.
You welcome it.
Yes.
You welcome it. When you find yourself getting comfortable now, it's kind of like, this is what I do. I'm like, oh, why am I comfortable? This ain't right. I gotta make some shit shake.
Yes. Sharing your herpes diagnosis with the world is one of the most socially uncomfortable situations you could put yourself in. But what Pamela said that's so true is that it's so freeing. It's so liberating. It's so empowering. Like, I choose my words carefully. I've been called to help women feel unashamed because there's so much shame wrapped up in this stigma. I've rebuked that in the name of Jesus. Unashamed, empowered, and worthy, because those are all things that I feel truly about myself, that herpes takes away from so many people, but it didn't take it away from me. Welcome. We got a queen on stage. Hi.
Hello, Queen. How are you?
I'm good.
Do you have a question, my love?
I just kind of wanted to tell my story.
Okay.
There's so many questions that I have. Maybe a few weeks ago, I went to the doctor and I found out that I had herpes that I caught from my boyfriend for a year and 3 months. For a long time, I stayed in a relationship because I felt like nobody would want me. I was so ashamed. I didn't know what to do. There's so many questions that I have, like, when should I be having kids? I have even told my closest friends. Nobody really knows about it, and I'm just so afraid of time. I just don't know what I want to do. Even if I want to speak, because I feel so many things that scares me, and the fact that I lost my mom for something that he couldn't get rid of. And it just scares me a lot.
I think this is the queen who asked the question in the Facebook group.
Yes, it is the queen that asked the question in the Facebook group.
We spoke her up.
Queen, I really hope you catch the replay, because we dissected the post that you sent that we kind of didn't allow on the timeline. We declined it. We did address it because I wanted to make sure we addressed it, because we left a note that we would. So I know you're in the group. Go ahead. Once this replay will drop today, as soon as we get off the live, go ahead and check it out so that I answered all your questions, my love. Amber?
Yes, Queen. Thank you so much for showing up. We appreciate you, and we're here for you. This is the safe space for you. You are not alone at all. Shayna did answer your question, and I kind of added some words as well. So make sure you check this replay out. We talked about it at the very beginning of this hour. So we appreciate you for finding us over here on Clubhouse and for showing up and, your path being directed towards us. But Queen, you will be okay. You are not alone, and we're here for you. We love you and we see you, and we're grateful that you were able to, we found each other. So thank you for coming to the stage. Okay, that is so amazing that we literally were just talking about her.
Yes,
that's
perfect timing.
Perfect timing. I want her to hear that. Okay. Ooh, it's time to say goodbye. The hour be going so fast.
Yes, it does.
Okay. Well, I just want to say I appreciate everyone for being in the room on this Monday morning. Our 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. crew. Y'all hold us down. I hope you guys have a blessed day, a blessed week, and you just are encouraged to, choose yourself, to do the work on yourself, to continue to make yourself the number one priority, and focus on, really loving yourself instead of looking for others to love you. Make that your focus and make that your the thing you put energy and effort to. So we're back again on Clubhouse on Wednesday. We'll be back for our Wednesday morning at 8:30 a.m. Wednesdays are for healing. We're also back on Patreon tomorrow night on Zoom. So you have time to join our Patreon. We'll put the links all over our social media today. They're in our bios on our Instagram. And so we'd love to have you join us over there. And Herpes Could Never. Shout out to everyone watching or listening on Facebook. We appreciate our group. We love y'all. Cousins, we taking it to 1K. The next stop is 1,000, and we're so grateful to have everybody on this ride with us. So Herpes Could Never. Shayna?
Oh, we hit 800 a few days ago, and I said, all right, this coming week we're gonna hit 900. We did it in days, so maybe this coming week we're gonna hit 1K. Queens, thank you for showing up once again. You're here for yourself, and that's something to celebrate. You want to change your narrative. You want to change how you feel about herpes. You want to change your life with herpes and your attitude around herpes. And I'm proud of you for that. I'm proud of us. This is a movement, because herpes could never, ever, it couldn't depreciate your value. It can't take your worth away from you. It just shows you all the areas where you lack in self-love. It just empowers you to learn more about you, mentally, physically, emotionally. Herpes put me on a path to self-discovery. Herpes saved Amber's life and my life. We love you, and remember, herpes could never, ever. As I twerk in the mirror, y'all have a good day. Peace.
Peace.